Greetings. So I left off talking about being exposed to my sister's mental illness for the first time. Extremely heavy. And then having the consequence and blowback of fracturing my relationship with my mother, my biggest fan. Um, I did make it down to college. Uh, um, I was so angry at the whole situation. No one talked. No one communicated. No one. There was no expression of emotions, um, except for this sullen quiet. Uh, I got out of the rental car into my new place, unloaded everything with the help of my uncle and my mom. I don't remember if my sister came or not. I'm not sure if she did or not. But it began a struggle for myself. I was at a very, very well-off school, first private university in Florida, and kids around me had money, and I did not. My mom's all the resources were going to go toward my sister and helping her try to get back on track. I was on my own basically. She could help me here and there, but it was the plan always was my mother supported me some, but my sister was going to be able to support me a lot, getting a good paying job down south, and she was gonna give back to me and help me out. That life does not ask you what you want, rather life questions you in your once again being faced with to determine your actions going forward. And at that point, I did not have the emotional nor mental maturity that I have now to deal with these situations. So I struck out and was on my own. I embraced the team, I embraced the culture, quickly learned that I didn't fit in anywhere because I was such in-betweener, I guess the best way you could say. I wasn't black enough for the black guys, I wasn't, and I was black, so I wasn't, and I acted white, so, and it was terrible. So I'm going through another set of identity crisis. Trying to find my way. I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do drugs. My vice was women and video games. A great night for me was playing video games, room temperature Sprite, and a bag of Twizzlers. I loved that. We would go to local football games. We do hanging out, bars, the local bars, hanging out there. I guess normal college stuff, but because I was on the basketball team, I could get free beer and things like that, and I would just give it to my roommate. But I stopped going. I would rarely go out because I just didn't see the point of it. The atmosphere was never something that I enjoyed. And then I had my first true initiation with mental illness, besides the initial, but I'd never seen a delusional episode. My sister called me one day and she was on the phone and she said she just won the lottery over a couple $1,000,000, and this is back in '94. So I am ecstatic. She's like, I'm junior, so they call me JR. So she, J for short. And she says, Jay, I want you to pick out a Suburban. You can fill it up with big 15-inch speakers. You'll be rolling so nice. It'll be wonderful. You'll have a vehicle like Shaq's and roll on a campus like that. And I'm hooting and hollering, running up and down the hallways, excited as could be, because wow, things turned around. I couldn't believe it. This is a great day. Freshman in college. Then my mom got on the phone. And she says, JR, none of this is true. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just look at the ticket. She won. We're rich. She's rich. We're rich. She's like, no, it's not. She doesn't have a ticket. None of this is true. And I argue with my mother. And until I finally heard what she was saying. And the amount of rage and anger that I felt started to send me down a path of true darkness. I could not separate her chemical imbalance from her. See, we are very unique in our chemistry. We're visual creatures. So I think mental illness is one of the most damning diseases that there is. Because with someone with cancer, someone with Alzheimer's, someone with MS, you can see their body wither away. You can see their existence starting to end. You can see how much physical pain that they're in. Someone who suffers a thyroid problem or has an eating disorder, such as anorexia. We're visual creatures, so we can see, oh yeah, that's terrible. Their body is reflecting this disease. With a mental illness, the person is perfectly intact, except for there is a disconnect in the brain, a chemical imbalance in the brain, and it's very hard to make sense of. In that regard, it truly fueled, that was the seeds for a hatred toward my sister. That was the beginning. I planted the seeds for hatred toward my sister. The woman who inspired me to ride a bike, wouldn't let me give up, influenced me to lift weights, train hard, practice everything, give up football, commit wholeheartedly to basketball, chauffeur me around for dates and things like that. Showed me the University of Florida, or introduced me to Emmitt Smith, all this cool stuff. She was gone. And there was no one there to tell you about this. No one there to talk to you about this. And dear God, did it have an effect on me. When I played, I was ultra aggressive because I was very, very strong. The football had made me strong, and I could follow directions. And I kept finding myself on the first team. We had bigger players. I was playing center, and I wasn't center material. I was 3, maybe a 4, because the position for basketball is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the center and 1 being the point guard. I was maybe a power forward at best, but because of my athletic ability, super long arms, and aggression. Um, I was playing center, and on a given night, I give up 2 inches and 30, 40 pounds to another guy, sometimes 4 or 5 inches to a guy in damn near 60, 70 pounds. Um, um, but I loved it. Afraid, yes. Uh, but I kept finding myself being put out on the first team during practice, and I didn't understand what was happening. I thought the coach just felt sorry for me because I was trying really hard. We had guys 6'8", 6'7", we had a 6'10" dude, um, all better equipped to do the job of playing center, and come game time, the first game, I'm going up against, I get put out there, they put the first team out there, and I can't figure out for the life of me what the hell is, I'm still out here. He's wanting me to start as a freshman at center. Like, okay, man, let's do it. And I look up, and we're playing a warm-up game against former NBA players. And my assignment for the night is Greg Kite. This guy used to go bang up against Shaquille O'Neal. He's 7 feet tall, probably about 300 pounds, and has NBA experience. And here I am, 6'6", maybe 215, 220, and maybe. And I couldn't believe it. This dude was a mountain. And I'm like, damn, this sucks. Ball went up. I got the tip from him. But before that, we got to watch these guys warm up. Things that required so much effort for myself. I can't speak for anyone else. We watched the former NBA players warm up. They did effortlessly. It was like walking. It looked like they were doing this out of complete and total cruise mode. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. They were so efficient. They didn't miss anything during the warm-up. I was like, dear God. Like, I'm struggling to do everything. Everything has to be perfect for me to pull it off. It has to be an extreme effort. So it's intimidating. I'm playing against this guy, and he's just moving me around. Hit me with his butt, all this kind of crap, because I'm just a spectator. He probably doesn't even notice who I am. I'm just another opponent, a small guy. He's gonna be able to dominate, and I'm trying my best. I really am. At one point, I got to block his shot. I had to jump up as high as I possibly could, and I blocked his shot. I landed and I fell because I didn't realize how high I jumped. And the soccer players, because they were huge supporters, grabbed me and they were calling me the fly swatter. And I felt great. It was really neat. A couple plays later, we're running down the court, and his elbow comes back and hits me directly in the mouth, because that's how tall he was. And my bottom lip was tattooed to my teeth. I had to pull my lip out and swallow all the blood so I didn't come out of the game. And I was like, wow, this sucks a lot. Playing against someone who is so physically accustomed to physicality and trying to adapt on the fly was very, very different. But I started to develop, outside of fear, more self-confidence. And you just develop a respect for your opponents. While simultaneously they have to develop a respect for you. Because the game is played in such a way where if you're out there, you're competent. That's a given. Now, your skill levels will vary, but you're out there and you're competent. Um, uh, so there's a respect to be had out there. And the ball was the great equalizer. Went through race, gender, religion, everything else like that. Any political difference, that ball did not care. And I thought it was wonderful. It was just a place where people came together to play one another, and the ball was the object of our affection. And I thought it was hilarious because in pickup games, say I got fouled, and the other team in a pickup game, so 5-on-5 basketball at a gym, no referees. In a pickup game, they'll tell you straight to your face, that wasn't a foul, and you start arguing back and forth. Well, you want the game to continue, you want to keep going. So what ends up happening, they'll say, shoot for it. You have to shoot a three-pointer to see if you make it, you get the ball. If you miss it, then it's their ball. But you have a fair shot at it. And that's the equalizer. Because everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to compete. Everyone wants to be out there. Everyone wants to see. So you came up with these little things to make sure that the playing field was level. And I love that. But, and maybe as a society, we need to look a little bit deeper into something like that, because I don't see that anymore. And the things that I've seen have brought me to my knees. It made me see a darkness and horror that no person should ever have to see. I'm speaking about 9/11 and war, and a couple other instances on a deployment, even out on, in my occupation, the loss of a child, witnessing the aftermath of that, these very dark things. And in that darkness, I never got to see more light. The light is infectious. The light is inspiring. The light is everything it needs to be to move forward. The light comes because it was always there. Hell will find you. And when you are in it, you are constantly searching for a path out. The thing that I forget is that there was a way in. If there was a way in, then there is a way out. And one of the phrases I love to tell people, it's the thing is, you find yourself in hell, keep going. The other phrase I like to tell people is, if you find yourself in hell, keep going. But if you see someone with their hand up, grab it, pull them up, bring them with you, because you never know when that person's going to be you. So I like to leave you with a challenge, and I'll start ending it like this going forward. Be the reason someone smiles today. Take care.